Graptopetalum paraguayense, also known as the ghost plant, Ghostie, mother of pearl or Sedum weinbergii, is a succulent plant native to Mexico. It is also one of my most favorite succulents of all time. It is extremely hardy as well as absolutely gorgeous. If you're new to succulents, this plant is the perfect choice to get you started. The pink rosettes of Graptopetalum paraguayense can grow to about 15 cm or 6 inches in diameter and height. The ghost plant has a spreading growth habit, which makes it a superb ground cover and rockery plant. The nickname ghost plant or ghostie comes from the light white dusting of farina on paraguayense's leaves. Farina acts like a sunscreen for plants to protect against sunburn. Graptopetalum paraguayense is best grown in a sunny spot with at least 5 hours of direct sun, followed by bright shade. It will grow in shade as well, however the stem is likely to elongate, the color will fade and growth will not be compact. In my experience, this plant will not grow well indoors and it's very likely to eventually die unless it's grown on a very sunny windowsill. Paraguayense will grow well in the garden as well as in pots. If grown in small pots, do make sure to repot every year or two. This succulent is quite tolerant of rain, excess water and humidity as long as it is planted in well-draining potting mix and the pot has holes. During dry spells or if grown under cover, allow the potting mix to dry out between waterings. The ghost plant is very drought tolerant and will survive not being watered for extended periods. Okay, so this is where things get tricky. My personal experience as a grower is vastly different to what the majority of websites say about the paraguayense and its tolerance to frost. While my part of the world rarely sees frost or snow, my first nursery would get frosty mornings down to -4 degrees or 24 Fahrenheit, and the paraguayense, along with most other succulents I grow, would get bad frostbite. Less established ghosties would completely freeze over and die. Yet the majority of websites say Graptopetalum paraguayense is very much frost tolerant and some say it can even handle deep frost. To me, the paraguayense's leaves are way too fleshy to be okay in frost, but if you live in a climate with cold winters and have these plants outside, please do share your experience in the comments. Graptopetalum paraguayense is super easy to propagate from cuttings and leaves. Seed propagation is also possible, but in my opinion a bit pointless as it takes a long time to raise seedlings. It makes more sense to propagate leaves if you want loads. Here's a bit of a neglected pot that I'm going to cut apart. To take cuttings, use a clean cutting tool such as scissors or pruning shears. If there are any damaged or yellowing leaves on the bottom, pull them off. The leaves on the ghost plant can be pretty fragile when handled, so don't panic if you knock a few off. The good news is you can put these leaves aside in a bright dry spot and wait for new growth. In the growing season, new plants usually start to emerge from leaves in about 2 weeks. Back to cuttings. With this plant, even small heads can be cut off as they take real easy. For best results, all propagation should be done in spring and summer. During the hottest months, protect from strong afternoon sun as cuttings and leaf babies can burn easily. I put all of mine under 30% shade cloth, which bounces the damaging UV off but still lets plenty of good light through. Now we leave the cuttings for 24 hours so the wound created by the cut can dry. This will seal the wound and prevent any disease or fungus from getting into the cuttings. The cuttings are now ready to be planted. I'm using succulent potting mix as this is what they'll grow in best. However, the paraguayense is so hardy it will pretty much grow in anything. You can even plant the cuttings straight in the garden. Make a small hole in the middle for the stalk. If you want to create a full pot fast, you can plant multiple cuttings into one pot. After the cuttings are planted, I usually water when the potting mix gets dry. This helps the roots establish faster and deeper and prevent the cuttings from drying out. These little babies are all leaf propagations and are about 4 months old. The Paraguayense is very easy to propagate from leaves, and often you'll get more than one head growing out of just one single leaf. These guys don't look like much now, but in another 4 months they'll be big and gorgeous. Although Graptopetalum Paraguayense is a hardy plant, it does attract pretty much all the succulent pests. While the pests can do damage, this plant usually recovers quite fast. Aphids usually appear with the flowers and can then migrate down to the rosettes. If the infestations on the flowers is bad, simply cut them off or treat with pyrethrum spray. Mealybugs tend to hide between the leaves and also attack the roots. Watch out for their cottony sacs and any distorted growth, as they will wreak havoc on your plants. Slugs, snails, caterpillars and grasshoppers also have this succulent on their menu. The damage will usually look something like this. The Paraguayense usually blooms in winter and spring. The flowers come up on tall stalks above the foliage and have white petals. This plant is thankfully safe to have around dogs, cats, other pets, livestock and kids. There are no toxic or dangerous parts to this plant, and apparently their leaves are even edible. However, I'd suggest doing some additional research before you tuck in. And that's it for today. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have anything to add or if you have a question, you can leave a comment below. If you'd like to learn more about succulents, you can subscribe to our channel or visit succulentgrowingtips.com. I also grow this plant in my nursery, and you can buy it at fernfarmplants.com.au if you live in Australia. Thank you very much for watching.